Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. Today I want to revisit one of my favorite firearms I've not had out in a while, and that is the Jericho 941. A while back, before I had too many followers, I made a couple of videos on this gun and they were pretty well received. Has a pretty good following out there if you know about what this gun is. And most recently I was inspired by a really good video by MD Polo on this exact firearm. His had some really cool grips on it. There's one big difference in the two, but I'll post a link to his video in the description below because it's really, really good and you should check it out. But for me, I just wanted to get this back out of the safe because I've not talked about it in a while. And if you're somewhat new to the channel, maybe you missed it, but this firearm is a very special firearm that I love as much as any firearm I own. And it is my wife's favorite firearm. I'll tell you about that in a second as well. You can see that this is clear. But this Jericho 941 F9 is a steel frame, double action, single action with a safety 9mm handgun. It has a pretty good history and it's got a lot of cool features that I'll try to cover with you. And as always though, we'd love to hear your feedback. If you have experience with Jericho or any thoughts on it, please feel free to sound off in the comments because people, I think, really get value from your comments. But again, I mentioned this is a 941 F9. They make an FS9 that's a little bit smaller than this guy. This guy is full size, holds 16 rounds for capacity. It's got a 4.4 inch barrel. We'll take a look at closer. It's 8.2 inches long, but most importantly, my favorite thing about this gun is the weight. It weighs 2.3 pounds. It is by far the heaviest gun that I own. Weighs just under 37 ounces, which is crazy weight. They make an enhanced Jericho that's made of polymer, same shape, same general design, which seems nice, but it only weighs 27 ounces, 26.8 to be exact, so it's 10 ounces lighter than this gun. If you think about this compared to a CZ75, a gun that was somewhat modeled after, like this, CZ75 here, this gun only weighs in at 35 ounces versus 37 here. So again, nice heavy steel frame gun or aluminum frame versus steel frame here. This guy is a lot heavier. If you compare it to say a SIG 226 heavy duty military weapon, that one only weighs 34 ounces. So again, by quite a bit, this gun is one of the heaviest guns I own. So it uses that old-fashioned method to reduce recoil and as weight. Shooting this gun, it feels like you're shooting a 22 long rifle. There's just no recoil at all. I mentioned it was my wife's favorite gun. First time I took her to the range, I let her shoot a micro compact 9mm, a carry size 45 ACP, and a carry size 10mm, and then she shot this and instantly fell in love. And of all my firearms, this is the one that she loves the most. And again, this is also one that I shoot the best. I'm not sure if it's the grip angle, the trigger, or just the whole package, but this one I shoot well right out of the box, and it's just really easy to be on target. And when I take friends to go shoot firearms, I usually take 3 or 4 with me. This is always the one that makes them go, wow, what is that? So again, just a not well-known firearm in the industry, not a ton of Jerichos at your local store, but it is a fantastic firearm that if you know about it, you know about it. So I thought I'd just take a quick walk around it and look at some of the features, talk about some of the things I like, and I'll start at the front. This gun was designed or released in 1990, and it was been chambered in multiple calibers, 9mm, as this one's chambered in here. It's called a 941 because when it was developed to be able to shoot both 9mm and 41 Action Express, which has been discontinued, I think. Along the way, they also chambered it in 40 Smith & Wesson and 45 ACP. I've never seen any of those, but I know that they do exist out there. It was originally made by IWI, I think, Israeli Military Institute, and then the same folks that make the Desert Eagle, Magnum Research. But now it's being imported by IWI in Pennsylvania, Israeli Weapons Industries. And it's oftentimes called the Baby Eagle, but it really has nothing to do with the Desert Eagle, which is a gas-powered firearm. This one's more of a tilting action. So while it may resemble one, it's not really a Desert Eagle at all, or a Baby Eagle, it's sometimes called. So again, for me, I love the way the gun feels in my hand. Ergonomics are spot on, perfect, as all CZ75 type variants are. They just fit your hand perfectly. The Czechs really figured it out, and the Israelis kind of ran with it. But it feels fantastic, and the weight is something you just have to hold in your hand to see how good this gun feels. But then starting back up the front again, sorry. I love the angled front here. I think that makes this gun look really, really mean. You can see the front of a standard CZ75 here. Classic look, very nice looking gun. But the sharp angle cut here, I think makes this gun look absolutely stunning. And just more wicked than you can imagine. Up top, you've got the basic 3-dot setup with some glare resistance here with the stippling on the front. But the sight picture is just 3 dots, but there's something about those dots that make this gun really easy to stay on target. So you can see you can drift those if you need to as well. So sights are pretty basic. This is not a very expensive gun either, but bang for the buck, I don't know if you'll find anything better than this gun. You do have a pick rail on here, so you get a couple of slots there for your accessories if you want to run a light on it. Continuing from the front, you have some texturing here in case you're someone who likes to wrap your finger around the trigger guard. Trigger guard looks decent sized, not totally super oversized, but big enough. And you have kind of a curved trigger there we'll look at in a second. And, slight undercut here. I don't know that you get an incredibly high purchase on it. It's not a low bore axis with inverted rail, but it does sit nicely in your hands. You can see the barrel here. It is mostly all for right-handers. Being a lefty, I have nothing on this side for slide stop or mag release. So it's all over here for right-handers, you lucky guys. Mag release works well, slide stop works great. And this is a safety-only version. You can't put it in safe until the firearm is cocked. So you see the trigger's dead there. No decocker. They do make a decocker model that has a decocker on the slide itself. I mentioned it does have the inverted rail system like CZ75s, and it doesn't have any front cocking serration, so it's very slick up here. You do have rear cocking serrations that work fine. And my son hates this gun because he can't get a good purchase on it to rack the slide. I have no problem with it at all. These serrations in the back work perfectly for me, but there is nothing in the front, which I think adds to the sleek look of this firearm. The only knock that a lot of people say about the gun, and MD Polo mentions it in his awesome video, is that sometimes the grips can be slick. They do make different grips for the Jericho. I think he had a link to he mentioned the place he bought his in his video. I've had no issues maintaining purchase on the gun. I've not been out in super sweaty weather though, but the weight of the gun just keeps it from moving in my hand. As I'm working my way to the back, there's a giant beaver tail there, which looks great, but also does keep you from getting anywhere near the slide. Not that that's even a risk at all, but just makes the firearm look fantastic. Now the trigger is actually a pretty good trigger for a duty style trigger. In double action, I don't have the measurement here, but it's a very heavy double action pull. You can see my finger turn red, probably 10 pounds or so. But then the reset, you have a little bit of take up, but not a lot. And then you are at the wall and you break. So I haven't done the measurements on it, but it's a good trigger. It's a duty style trigger, but it really is a good shooting trigger. Reset there, not as long as say a SIG or a H&K P30, but small bit of take up and you break again. So a good clean trigger, very heavy gun, a lot of fun to shoot. Now, if I can, I'll try to take it apart so you can see the inside as well. And to disassemble these is like any CZ75 type variant. There's 2 dots here you want to line up here and here. And after you line those up, you want to push through on this button here. If I can't do it with my fingers, I'll do it off camera with a wooden block I have. Oh, popped out. Got loose enough finally. There's your firing pin, or your firing pin, my gosh, I just drew a blank. Your slide catch, and then I need to decock it to let the slide go. I think there it goes. And inside here, you can look at the machining. This gun has thousands of rounds to it, but I clean it religiously, oil it generously, and it has great machining in there. It's held up very, very well. You can see the inverted rails there that let the slide sit a little bit lower than normal. And then the guide rod here, not captured obviously, it's still guide rod. A great looking barrel. See the lug there. And I need to get a light so I can shine back up in here. You can see the rifle inside there. and then inside the slide as well. Again, a little bit of wear there from all the thousands of rounds, but this has been an absolute joy to own, and I really should talk about it more. Before I put it back together, I do want to mention the fact that if you just look at the way this thing rides on the rails, you have full steel rails here. This thing rides like butter. Like I've played with 1911s that are custom made that aren't this slick. This gun is absolutely just a smooth firearm. So I didn't mention the pop culture reference that this gun was also used by Spike in the animated series, which I just drew a blank on as well. But a lot of people love that in pop culture. And for me, it's just a gun that I have had more pleasure shooting than pretty much any gun I own, because it makes me look good at the range, which is really sometimes hard to do. So reassembly, by the way, just reverse the steps, line those back up, and then reinstall that, check for function. And there you go. So thanks for taking a trip down memory lane with me. Just a nice revisit of a fantastic firearm that does not get enough love on the internet. So if you're watching this video, thank you again. If you don't mind, like and subscribe, and maybe even share the video so I can get some subscribers built up and spread the word about this fantastic Jericho from IWI. Thanks again for watching.